Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video here we successfully created all that our child component. So that is all that our child component for the home, right? So as I told you friend, here that is all that our child component, all that our parent component we will create in our pages. So step by step everything will be more clear, don't worry about it. Friend, in this video I want to work for our router. Okay, that means how we can configure routing. For the router, if you go to that Google, here we have to add some of the dependency. If you search with that React, okay, React router, that is a React router. So if you search with the React router, okay, so if you search with the React router, then that is actually the React router. So if you open it, so there is actually one of the page I want to actually get some of the things. That is a reactrouter.com. If you go there, there is another one, and also there is another GitHub link. So I will recommend it to go to particular this GitHub link. So here that is actually very interactive. You can see there is a 43.6k is star, which is totally fine. And from here you can see there is a packages now want to install as a React router, and another is the React router DOM. So in fundamental I have already discussed about that things with you. For the web you can also install it from to this position, but I will recommend it to go to particular this GitHub link, and from here you can actually install both of these. Okay, so right now it's closed. I want to close it. So there is a React router. So into the React router, if you open it, and also there is a React router DOM. For this project I want to install both of these. So that is, first of all, there is a React router, and into the React router if you go, you can see there is a installation process and how to use it. Everything is in here. So first of all I want to install it. I copy it. Okay, I copy it, and then in our project, so into the project after this I want to install that React, that is a save React router. So now if you click as a enter, it will be downloaded all that file from to the internet, and it will be installed that these packages in your system. Okay, then when it will be done, then better I want to come back again. So now you can see it's now successfully installed. That means right now we are successfully installed that React router. So now also I want to install another one as a React router DOM. Okay, so now if you want to install it, so that is our React router DOM. I copy it, and that is for the React router DOM. I have already installed that React router. So now I want to install that React router DOM. I copy it, and then here after that I want to also install it. Click as a enter. Also it may take little time, so better when it will be done, then I will come back again. Okay friend, our React router DOM package is also successfully installed. So whatever the packages you will be installed, everything you will get it in you. If you go to your project, into the project, there is a package.json. If you go to the package.json, you can see there is a React router DOM is successfully installed. So React router is installed. There is a React router DOM, and then I have already installed that React Bootstrap. You can see Bootstrap is installed, that React Slick carousel. So whatever the packages you will be installed, everything that is all the dependency. Okay, all the dependency will be automatically, you will get it in particular that area. So there is a package.json. So now which is totally fine. So I have installed both of this. So now in our router, okay, that means in our route, so into this route area I want to create another component. So another file I want to create as a app route. Okay, I name it as a app, and the route, so approute.jx. So I name it as a approute.jx. You can also use it as a JSX, whatever you choose. So right now I make it as a JS, and now I want to create another class-based component with the RCE. So with the RCE I want to create another class-based component, and here that is by default you can see it's now import that React the component from to the React, right? And if you go to that React Bootstrap, into the Bootstrap, if you go to the home, and then I want to get it started, and there have some of the layout. If we go to that layouts, so in React beginner course, as I have already discussed about that things with you friends, if you know a little bit that React, then that will be very common one of the things. You can see that here we have to add that container for if you want to add some of the tables. So in Bootstrap that is actually one of the tr and td, right? So in React Bootstrap, then you have to use it as a tr to the row and td as a column. Okay, so that is the things you have to remember, and that is a container we have to add. I think you already know about that Bootstrap, right? So if you already know about the Bootstrap, so there is pretty much same things. If you want to create some of the row, that will be you have to write down as a row. So in Bootstrap we are using as a tr and then td. So but in React.js we have to use that as a row and then column. So I will use it a lot of the time. So here actually you create multiple columns with this code. So I will do that things later. Okay. And first of all, I want to do here, I want to make it that is a div. So I don't want to use that div. I want to use that another function as a fragment. So if you write down as a fragment, automatically it will be supported. You can see there is a fragment. So now I want to use that fragment. So when you select it as a fragment, automatically this fragment will be included in here. All that our container, row and the column, I will add it in particular this fragment area. Okay, so that is our fragment. I simply load it in particular that position. So now this app route I want to include it in our this app.js. Okay, so here I want to load it. Before, for education purpose, I am actually loaded 2 of this button, right? So for check all that our CSS is perfectly working or not. So right now we don't need this. And also, as I told you friend, we will use that fragment. So I want to load that fragment, not that div. I remove this div. I want to load that fragment. Sorry, that is a fragment, and I want to load this fragment. I close this fragment, which is totally fine, and fragment is also successfully loaded in here. Okay, so that is our React Bootstrap. We don't need this button because I have already removed this button, so I want to make it as a clean. Perfect. Here you can actually do 2 things. You can add that as a hash router. You can add that as a browser router. Okay, so better for this course I want to use as a browser router. So if you want to use that browser router, we have to do like here into the fragment area. I want to load that as a browser, browser browser router. Okay, browser router, I want to use it, and I close it. This browser router that should be comes from our which place? This should be comes from our React router DOM. I have already installed that React router DOM. So now we are able to import it. So I want to import. Okay, import. I want to import our this browser router. So as I told you, you can actually use both of these as a hash router, the browser router. When you actually use that hash router, then after that your home link, okay, after that home link, that will be as a slash and then hash. Okay, so right now I don't want to use this hash, so here I make it as a browser router. So that is a browser router. I load it, and that will be comes from, okay, that will be comes from our which place? That will be comes from our React router dump. So that will be as a React React, and then the router DOM. You can see that is a React router DOM. So from to this position I want to load it. Here make that sure you load it, and in particular this React router DOM area I want to load our this app route. Okay, so this app route I want to load. If you want to load, that is, if you write down as an app, then automatically it will be suggested as an app. And you can see now that is actually give you some of the instruction that is in our src. Into the src, there is a route folder. I have created that app router, right? There is an app route. So now I select it, and automatically you can see it's now input our this app route from the route and then app route. So here I simply load our this file. Okay, perfect. So now I want to create one of our parent component. So all that parent component, as I told you, I will create it in our these pages. Okay, so into this pages I want to create one of the new component, and I just name it as a home page. And this home page I want to load it. That will be as a homepage.jsx. I want to create one of the class based component as a RCE. We successfully loaded this RCE, and here, as I told you, I don't want to use that div. Here I want to load that fragment. So that is a fragment. I want to load this fragment, and into this fragment area I want to load on the h1 tag. Okay, h1 tag, and here I make it as a this is our home page. So this type of one of the text that should be display. Okay, so now this page I want to display in our which place? It should be display in our home route, right? When it should be as a in our home. So into the home route I want to display it. So if you want to display it here we have to work in our this app route. So into this app route area only we have to load our this home page. For doing this in our app route, I have already loaded that fragment, right? So into the fragment here, here we have to do, first of all we have to load that as a switch. If you go to our React router, into the React router, you will get these things maybe. If you go, so that is actually React router, right? So here they have no documentation. There is also another documentation. That is a euro rate. You can see there is a switch. Okay, so here we have to first of all load it, and that is the import this switch. I want to use it. I copy it. First of all, I want to load that this router route and the switch. First of all, I want to load that switch. So that will be as a switch, and I want to close that switch. So into this switch area, I want to load another route. So that will be actually route. I want to use that route. So this route, I want to make it as an exec. First of all, I want to close it, and here I want to use one of the exec path. So that will be exec. Okay, exec, and exec to our which place? Exec to that will be in our slash. Slash means that will be in our home. Right, so for the home, I want to load one of the component. I want to load another component. Which component I want to load? I want to load these pages. Here I have created one of the parent component as a home page. Right here now I want to load it. So into this component area, when it will be as a exec slash, that means when it will be as a home, then I want to load one of the component. This component means that is a home page. So if you write down as a home page, okay, home. And you can see it's also suggested that is our src pages and the home page. So now I want to select it, and automatically that will be import our home page. If you go to our home page, so that is our home page component, and from here you can say I export the default home page. Right now we are able to access it. So that is our home page in our pages folder, and then that is our home page. So now this component will be loaded when it will be exactly this home path. I hope friend it's very much clear to you. And also I loaded our switch. So switch is loaded, and then our route is loaded, and when the router is not needed for the reasons it's now become hide. Okay, so which is totally fine. So now that should be loaded in our home page component. So into this home page component, I'll take one of the message as this is our home page. Now let's check this out. If you now click as a save all, if you now click as a save all, they have no error. And now I want to go to our project. So now that should be gone. Now for our home, now click as a refresh. Yes, you can see it's perfect. So now that is actually display what? It's now display this is our home page. Right friend? So now it's appropriately loaded this home page component. I hope friend every part is very much clear to you. Right, in our next video I want to manage all that our CSS file. I have already created one of the asset. Into the asset I have created the CSS as a custom CSS and the font or some CSS. Right, so for that will be, as I told you, that is not that mid-level project, that is very high-level project. So for the high-level project I want to organize all that our component like that way. I want to also organize all that our CSS as well. Okay, better in our next video I want to manage all that our CSS files. So how can do that work? In our next video I will show you that things with a live example. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.